Myles here. Thank you so much for getting involved with this Wired devotion that God is doing. I'm telling you, this first right off the bat, first video devotion is an incredible thing that Jesus is saying. He's actually giving the DNA of what Jesus is. He begins to tell us that if people want you to walk 1 mile, want you to walk 2. And without getting into the manners and customs of what that really means, I want to share with you what God is really saying. Jesus is saying, listen, there's going to be times in your life that people are going to spitefully use you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to say negative things about you. They're going to want to use you. You know, there's a huge saying right now that says, haters are my motivators. And I understand what people are trying to say with that. But God really convicted me and said, haters are not your motivators. Haters are your prayer assignments. And that's the true meaning of what it means to be a person like Jesus. To be like Jesus is to really love people even beyond how much they hurt you. There was a time in my wife and I's life at the beginning of starting Worship with Wonders Church that people rose up and said hurtful things about us. And honestly, I held a grudge. And you know what? It didn't do anything but hurt me. And I remember one time as I was preaching, walking the beginnings of that service, I began to speak and say, you know what? We got to pray for those who spitefully use us. We got to walk that extra mile. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, will you do that? That was a tough moment. I had to stop right there and say, guys, everybody in the congregation, I've got to do something. I've got to ask for forgiveness. When I did that, my wife and I together got together and said, you know what? We're going to release these people that have been hurtful to us. Can I tell you, our church exploded overnight in the summertime. And you know what? I'm going to pray that over you. I believe that as you read this devotion about going that extra mile, about forgiving those who hurt you, can I tell you, it's going to open up a world that's going to bless you. And I pray that over you today, right now. Father, I thank you as they read this devotion that, God, you will become real to them and they would see the true DNA of who you are in them. This is going to be a great journey.